Beautiful hydrangeas, hot tub, sitting area. They got all the bells and whistles, it looks like. Wow, I love it. It's only a year and a half old?
A year old, yeah.
Wow, look at the plants. Beautiful, very natural. Love how natural it is. Look at the size of that blooming tropical lily there too. Gigantic. Boy, this is gorgeous. So just a 1-drop, 2-drop waterfalls right next to the edge. Got some tropical lilies, some lotus here.
I actually love this pond because it is so interactive. Usually you see a front yard pond and it's out by the road and doesn't really make a lot of sense. But this is obviously a living space.
Yes.
You're looking out, you've got all these windows here, looking out to the front yard, you see this beautiful water feature.
Yeah, not bad.
They put these chairs out here, so obviously they sit out here.
Yes, why would you not? Welcome to living the Aquascape lifestyle. So I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy, and we're traveling around with Jack Haryu from Atlantis Water Gardens in Chester, New Jersey.
Chester, New Jersey.
And this is a pond that was built for a lady's fish when she moved houses, right?
Yep, she had an existing pond, earth bottom pond at the other house with koi in it.
Yep.
And she's like, I want to take some of the fish with me. So we built a new pond here. They were doing a complete renovation back here, and you'll see in a second, this place is really spectacular.
Gorgeous house, butterfly bush, really nice landscaping, and a very natural looking pond next to a swimming pool. So they got the best of both worlds, a swimming pool and a pond. Beautiful hydrangeas, hot tub, sitting area. They got all the bells and whistles, it looks like. Wow, I love it. It's only a year and a half old?
A year old, yeah.
Wow, look at the plants. Beautiful, very natural. Love how natural it is. Look at the size of that blooming tropical lily there too. Gigantic. Boy, this is gorgeous. So just a 1-drop, 2-drop waterfalls right next to the edge. Got some tropical lilies, some lotus here. So those are the fish that were born in here, huh?
Yep.
The smaller ones. Okay, and then I see the bigger ones coming in right here.
So those fish last year, obviously when they're born, they're this small. Look how big they are, right?
Yeah, they're really growing well in here. And is this filtered by a wetland up there or just a biofalls?
6,000 biofalls.
In full sun like this, and look at that water quality, still good. And that lily is just so impressive. I love this yellow and white koi. I'm not sure what that is there, Sanki or whatever, but that's a gorgeous fish. So how many fish did you transplant?
We tried for 3 days to catch these fish out of the
Earth and pond. Yeah.
We were in there with big nets, and there had to be 8 of us there trying to catch them. We got 2 fish out there.
So those are the 2 fish. And you know what? Those babies are pretty nice looking fish. They got some good fish in there. And I love the tropicals. So one thing about the tropical lilies in New Jersey or Chicago or anywhere, you know, north of zone 8 is that it's going to be treated like an annual. But what's nice about it is I have a tropical in my pond. I just rotate a different tropical every year. You can also get night bloomers in tropicals that you can't get in hardies, but you just treat it like an annual. So if you've got a bigger pond like this, it's great to try a tropical lily and just try a different variety every year. Trey, what do you think of this, my man?
Love it. I'm going to start putting tropicals in my pond. They flower more like an annual than a perennial, you know?
So Trey is our Northeast sales manager for Aquascape, right?
I love my job.
Yeah. What do you love about your job, buddy? The places you get to visit. Look at this place.
This has got to be one of the best parts, is going to see what Jack built, see how it fits in differently with every house. Every pond's different, and I often wonder how he describes it ahead of time to the customer, because you can't draw it.
You can't
show him a picture. You got to wait till the rock is in your hand and flipped around.
Which is what an artist does.
And it's true art.
There's a lot of faith that comes, and this is why you want to see some of the contractors' work, you know, and visit some of their ponds. But yeah, this is why I do this vlog, to inspire people to live the Aquascape lifestyle.
Now here to get an idea on what we're going to do, you'll watch our YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay. So Atlantis Water Gardens does a great job on YouTube. We're getting close to 50,000 subscribers, right? Not bad. I'm at 200 and some thousand.
If you want to see how this pond was actually built, you can click on the link right here. It'll show you the whole construction video of how this came together.
So what would a project like this, I mean, what do you probably have, 20,000 pounds of stone, maybe even more, 30?
There's 30 ton here.
Okay.
Because there's boulders from the backside. So you got to figure this was a flat backyard here. We've got to create elevation to make the waterfall work. And this is where a lot of mistakes happen with building waterfalls, creating that volcano type. You've got to stretch the berm out at least as wide, if not wider, than the back of the pond so that it fits the scale. And you can see how things were planted and layered in the backside, so it looks like it makes sense. Because realistically, beyond this, it drops off 8 feet.
It really does, yeah.
You have to do berming, extremely important. We used a lot of big boulders, but it's not a lot of waterfall. You're only talking about 2 drops there. But you're talking about 4 to 5 tons of rock surrounding that waterfall.
Yeah, big boulders.
So much structure. It really looks like it's been there forever.
And it looks like you flanked it with little floating baskets or something. Those go right in the water there,
That's the thing. That's what's so cool about coming back, you know, after a year or two and seeing how the pond grows in. When you initially plant it, it looks sparse because you see a lot of rock, you see a lot of water, and you see very little planting. But aquatic plants, what's great about them is they grow fast and they really fill in those spaces, like those, as Ed likes to say, those interstitial spaces.
They're good. Yeah, that was a good word. And I love how she's obviously got it. We got butterflies flying over there, butterfly bush. It looks very natural.
This plant is.
I don't even know what that is.
I think it's some sort of taro.
Yeah, with the red and different variety.
What's cool about ponds, water gardens, is you can play around with plants and you don't have to worry about watering.
Yes, you don't.
You can just put it in there and see what happens. I mean, this is a tropical. It's not going to last through the winter, but this starts off in a pot like this, and you're talking right now, we're in August, and look how big this plant is. It's going to die off, but if you put a brand new one in there next year, same size, down that low, it's going to be this big by the time you hit August.
So how would you go about estimating a project like this?
This project was about, like today's money, $48,000. That's with the big boulders, that's with all the lighting, there's aeration in here, there's circulation jets. This is about 17 foot wide, about 23 feet long, 3 feet deep. It's got a 1,000 skimmer on it, 6,000 biofalls. We're going to be somewhere in that $48,000.
But it's absolutely, you know, plush, it's stellar, and it's an investment. And when you see a house like this, I mean, this is a $150,000 swimming pool probably sitting in here. The landscaping is impeccable. It's a big house, but I love how everything in the sight line looks down upon this area.
And that's why when we're talking about initially we're going to go on that side of the yard, but they don't really use that side.
Sure, you can't see it from the house.
Here on the deck, we're looking out in the backyard. They've got the pool out here already. Like, let's put it out here and make it a focal point, and that's what we did. Actually, that court, that whole sport court used to come out to here, so it was a full-size court.
And they halved it up.
You know what? We don't use a whole court anymore. Let's cut some of that out and let's use some more garden space. And the way this grew in, it looks like a tropical paradise.
It's been here for a year and a half. It looks like it's always been here. So what town are we in, Jack?
We are in Mendon, New Jersey. This is a really cool project. There was a pond here already that the homeowner's father had built.
Okay.
20 or 30 years ago. And it was actually a really nice pond. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't have taken it out if it worked because it really looked that good.
Wow, that's impressive. Northern New Jersey, we're traveling around today. When was this rebuilt?
About a month ago.
Yeah, it looks pretty new. Oh, I remember seeing this on your Facebook page. Oh, I love the location. Look at this with these walkout doors right here from like the living room or something. This is where the pond was?
Yeah, so this was actually a really spectacular pond.
It really is, yeah.
The rock work that was done here was really well done, and something I really don't run into too often. Usually I see a pond that doesn't work anymore and it's a big mess. It looked really good. The problem was it was a big concrete structure.
Yeah.
And the whole shell failed.
Okay.
And there was just no fixing it. We couldn't just seal it up. There is no sealing it up with concrete.
And they obviously enjoyed it for 30 years.
Her father passed away. She ended up getting the house, and she's like, I want the pond to work again, because she hadn't seen it work in years. So we went in. This was a difficult job because you can see we're surrounded by gardens.
Yeah, trees.
Walkways on both sides, trees everywhere, beautiful landscape, but access stinks.
Yeah.
For machines. So we actually had to cut a road in right up here. We had to take a tree down to get in here.
Oh my.
And we had to hammer all the concrete out, it all out, and bring it in one rock at a time.
Oh boy, yeah.
It was challenging. It turned out just amazing. I actually love this pond because it is so interactive. Usually you see a front yard pond and it's out by the road and doesn't really make a lot of sense. But this is obviously a living space.
Yes.
You're looking out, you've got all these windows here, looking out to the front yard, and you see this beautiful water feature.
Yeah, not bad.
They put these chairs out here, so obviously they sit out here and
yes,
enjoy it.
Why would you not?
But to be able to walk up right to it and get super close to the pond, you got a beautiful lily in here. We did all these bog plantings, so I envision by next year, this will all just be live edge here.
Right.
You won't see any of the stonework except for what's on the outside. So all these sweet flag, all these Bacopa, the Creep and Jenny will totally take over this whole outside edge of the pond, and it will look really soft. So from here you'll just see plants, then water, then these beautiful waterfalls.
So they didn't have any fish because the pond wasn't working when you got in here?
Correct, yeah. They're gonna put fish in it. Has an intake bay skimmer that we put on it. There was no intake on it before. There was just a pump sitting in the bottom.
So the intake bay skimmer versus a standard rotationally molded skimmer, it's got more surface area, and then you just use a net to pull the stuff off. And when you're in a forest, like we're pretty much in here, you'd rather have less maintenance with an intake bay versus a skimmer that you'd have to clean out once a week, you know, in the season, and maybe once a day in the fall.
What I like about those is it's just an extension of the pond. The fish can swim in and out of it, and it just looks like there's nothing here except for just pond, but it's actually a functional part of what makes the whole system work.
Right.
And now we can hide the pump. So before, the pump was sitting right in the middle of the pond with the pipes coming out, and nobody likes to see that kind of
Yeah, and if you put the pump at the bottom of the pond and you get a leak anywhere in your stream with a low edge or whatnot, it goes down and you lose your fish.
Yeah.
So how does the intake bay work over here?
What we did was we actually put a pump vault in. You can't see it, it's underneath the gravel, but there's a vault over there which houses, there's two pumps that run this system. One runs the wetland filter, the other one runs the top of the waterfall. And we've got about 4 aqua blocks in here. We frame this out so that the water has to get channeled in through here.
Yep.
And you can see when it comes into the intake, the water just swirls around here and you can just scoop out the debris. Super easy, but if you look at it, it looks like it's just part of the pond.
So this was an existing walkway that was here?
Yeah, so my favorite part about this pond is the fact that it's like a park. You've got walkways that go up next to it, across it, all through it so that it's very interactive.
Yeah, it draws you up. There's a reason to walk up the walkway.
Yeah. There used to be a wood bridge here that was rotted, that went over a stream. So we wanted to keep the stream effect, but we also needed to get a filter on this pond. We built our constructed wetland filter right here in the middle of the waterfall.
So this is the filter.
This is the filter. You can cross over the actual filter, and if you look right here,
you can see the top.
Lid, the snorkel.
Yep.
In the springtime when we do our maintenance, we can pop that lid, we can wash this down, pump out the filter, and it's good to go. And then up top, we just use a spillway because that's more of an aesthetic waterfall than a filter. So we're feeding one of the pumps to the bottom of this filter, the other pump goes up to the top, feeds that nice waterfall. So it looks like it's just bleeding out of the hillside and making its way down. This is just a stream component, but in reality, it's just the filter. But to be able to walk across it to the other side, it connects to pathways.
Yep.
You're getting that whole walking through the garden experience.
Right. Well, just think about everybody pulling in to walk up to the front of the house. They're going to walk over here, and that's what's going to greet them.
I mean, you pull here and park, who's not going to want to walk over the stepping stone,
exactly.
You know? So you've got these beautiful trees, this nice maple tree. We were able to save all the other plants except for one just to get in here. So to be able to do this and save these weeping hemlocks, they're very temperamental. They don't like to be disturbed too much, so saving those was important. Really nice mature maple tree here, which gives a ton of shade and lends a lot of texture to the garden.
Yes.
So we wanted to be able to save this stuff. But the pond, I just love the way it fits in the front here. You don't see this very often. I want to really make the most of this spot here. And you can walk up here and just walk on all the big rocks. That's why I love big boulders. You got big boulders in a waterfall stream. You can walk all over it just like you would in nature, and you get to explore. You can get up close to the waterfalls, kind of see what they're about, and really get a different kind of view than you would by just looking at it from the patio.
This is a 30-year-old homeowner built pond, built out of concrete, hadn't run in a number of years, and they came in and replaced the concrete, took out the concrete, and replaced it with a liner. There is no better application than liner for a project like this because it gives with the ground, it's natural, you could form it, and when we get into areas that may be high traffic use, especially like animal enclosures and stuff, we'll put concrete cloth on top of a liner. But when you put a project like this with rock and gravel on the entire thing, you're not gonna have a customer that's gonna be able to get a hole in that thing. Chipmunks can cause holes, and that's why we sometimes use concrete cloth outside of a pond in the stream area underneath the streamliner. But if you're loving these things like I do, if you're loving the inspiration that comes with this, all of these vlogs cover the beauty of it. But if you want to learn the construction processes behind this, check out the link to the Team Aquascape vlogs where they actually go out and build these ponds. You can see how they're created. And then of course, always with Jack, you can check out Atlantis Water Gardens because every one of these projects that he does, he also showcases on his YouTube channel. But it's so fun for me as a CEO to see what our certified aquascape contractors are doing all over the world. And if you're interested in living the aquascape lifestyle, check out the link below to find a certified aquascape contractor by you. Or if you're interested in career opportunities, we're always looking for passionate people all over the world that work with a certified aquascape contractor. We hire for attitude, we train for aptitude. I love my job.